Hello, dear students. Today we are going to start up with a new poem, that is The Bees. Okay, you might have heard about the honey bees which make and collect the honey. So, see this diagram. This shows the hive. Okay, hive is the home for bees. Okay, so this hive basically consists of many people. So, we will understand that. Okay, people in the sense their community, the bee community. Okay, so the beehive consists of queen, drone, soldier bee, worker bee. Okay, so what is the role of each of this? So queen is the only female which has the fully developed reproductive parts, and that queen will rule over this hive. Okay, so this in the hive so many bees you can see, right? So small, so many bees you can see. So queen is the leading bee of that hive. Okay, and this queens will release a chemical scent because of which all the bees will relate to that hive. Okay, so for example, if on a tree two hives are there, okay, so the queen of this hive and queen of this hive will release the different chemical scents. Okay, so that the people which take up this scent will go to this hive, and the bees which take up this scent will go to this hive. They do not get disturbed or confused over it. Okay, so queen is the ruler of the hive. Then we have drone. Okay, so soldiers by the name drone they have. So out of this population, full population, 10% will be drones, and these drones will not do any of the work. Okay, so in our class also, out of so many students, we have some lazy students also, right? So the same way in the bee population also, in the hive, so 10% of the population will be lazy. Okay, and what they do, they only just eat and take rest. Okay, so those lazy bees are called as the drones. And then we have soldier bees. Okay, what the name soldier says, we know that soldiers are to protect our country. The same way we have soldier bees which will protect the hive from outer attack. Okay, so some other insects or something will attack, right? So therefore this soldier bees will protect their hive. And then we have the worker bees. Okay, as the name says, worker. Okay, so what they do, they store pollen and honey. This worker bees will go to different flowers. Okay, they will sit on the flower. They will take up the juice of that flower and bring it to the hive, and they will store there. So in that one particular hive we have queen, okay, drone, soldier bees and worker bees. Okay, so this is the introduction of the beehive. So have you tasted honey? Have you ever tasted the natural honey? Yes or no? Your answer is okay. How do bees collect honey? How these bees are able to collect the honey? We have to understand that. You must have seen the bees sitting on the flowers, going from flower to flower. They suck the nectar and store it in the hive. Now read this poem and make a list of the unique qualities of the busy bee which the poet describes. Okay, so how these bees collect honey is, they will go and sit on different flowers, and from that flowers they suck up the nectar. Nectar means the juice of the flowers. Okay, so the bees will collect the juices of different flowers and they store in the hive. Okay, so that nectar, that juice is being net by the other bees which are present in the hive. They will net it, make it smooth, and then it will form into the honey. Okay, this is how the bees bring about the honey. So let's see the poem. First I'll read it, see it carefully, see for the pronunciation. So work the honeybees, Creatures that by a rule in nature teach the art of order to a people kingdom. They have a king and officers of sorts, where some, like magistrates, correct at home, others, like merchants, venture trade abroad, others, like soldiers armed in their stings, make a boot upon the summer's velvet bats, which pillage they with merry mirth bring home to the tent royal of their emperor, who busied in his majesty's service, the singing masons building roofs of gold, the civil citizens kneading up the honey. The poor mechanic porters crowding in, their heavy burdens at his narrow gate, the sad-eyed justice with his surly hum, delivering o'er to executors pale, the lazy yawning drone. Okay, so now let us understand the poem. That is, so work the honey bees, creatures that by a rule in nature teach. Okay, so this honey bees will work so much, they are busy all day. So in the flower, you might have seen in the flowers there will be only a little juice. Okay, so from that little juice they make up so much honey, right? So they have to work a lot to make the honey, so they are very busy. Creatures that by a rule in nature. Okay, so these are the creatures, these are the creatures of God. By nature they teach us, what they teach, the art of order to a people kingdom. Okay, so say what they teach us, they teach us to make a beautiful kingdom. See this hive, so many bees are gathered here and they are living very happily over there, right? So by the same way, if we people are gathering together, we have to be happy, we have to make the kingdom like that. Okay, so beehive is compared to the kingdom here. Okay, so by nature, by default, the bees will teach us to make the kingdom. They have a king and officers of sorts. So this hive, okay, hive consists of what all? It consists of the king. Okay, so here king is suggesting only to the queen. Okay, we do not have male. Okay, so only the queen bee will rule over the hive. So therefore king is the person who rules the kingdom, right? So queen bee is the bee which rules over the hive, and it has officers of sorts. Okay, so if king is there, then along with king, soldiers will be there, no, to protect the king. So the same way the queen has the officers to protect her, where some, like magistrates, correct at home. Okay, so the bees are compared to human beings. Okay, they are like magistrates. Magistrates are the people who give the justice, the judge, right? So what they do, they correct at home. Okay, the bees which are there at the hive, they will correct at the hive, means they work at the hive, and if something is wrong they will correct it. Others, like merchants, venture trade abroad. Okay, so some of the bees will be like merchants. What does the merchant do? The export and import of the food material, right? So some of the bees, like merchants, venture trade abroad. Okay, so what does they do? They go out. Okay, the bees will go out to the different flowers and they will bring the juices. Okay, so they are like the merchants who are bringing up the honey. Okay, others, like soldiers armed in their stings. Okay, so the other bees are working as a soldiers. What does the soldier do? The soldier is protecting the hive. How they are protecting? They have their stings. Okay, so you might have sometimes seen the bees. Okay, if they sting, means it will cause a lot of pain, right? So that stings they have, the because of that sting they can protect the hive. See here, in these three lines, the bees are compared to like magistrates, like merchants, like soldiers. Okay, so this is the figure of speech called simile, in wherein they are compared to the human works, right? Then make a boot upon the summer's velvet buds. So what they do, they will boot upon, they will step upon the velvet layer. What is the velvet layer? The flowers. Okay, they go on to the different flowers, they step on to the different flowers, and they will collect the nectar, the juice of that flower, which pillage they with merry mirth bring home. Okay, so what they do, they will steal that juice. Okay, they will steal that, they thief that honey juice. Okay, and then happily, mirth means happy, they happily bring to the hive. Home is the hive. Okay, they happily go and steal that juice and bring to the house, to the tent royal of their emperor. So to whom they are working? For the emperor, the king, or the owner, the ruler of the hive, that is queen bee, who busied in his majesty surveys. Okay, so the queen bee will not only just be the ruler, emperor, along with that, what the queen bee is doing, queen bee is surveying. Okay, seeing if other work is going on correct. Okay, the singing masons building roofs of gold. Okay, so the bees will be singing and they are working as a masons. Okay, masons are the people who construct the buildings. Okay, so in the hive you might see the holes like this. Okay, and in that holes they will the make up the honey, right? So these masons are building the roof like this. Okay, and it is of gold color. So once the honey is ready, okay, if you see the hive, it will be of gold color. The civil citizens netting up the honey. So what the civil citizens means, civil citizens means the people, the who are living in the city, right? So here it is compared to the bees who are on the hive itself. They are not going out, they are at the hive itself. What they do, they knit up means they will make it soft. Okay, so even the floor you knead up, no, to make it soft. So like that the juices will be knead up to make the make it soft, and it will be converted into honey. The poor mechanic potters crowding in. Okay, so that honey hive will be very busy and too many bees will be there, no, it is very crowded. Their heavy burdens at his is narrow gate. The sad eyed justice with his slurry hum. Okay, so what do they do? So by the heavy burdens, okay, so with the heavy work, heavy burden, they will bring up the juice and make up the honey. Then what will do? We human beings will go and take up that honey in one moment, which will make them very sad. Okay, see that sad-eyed justice is compared to humans. Okay, they will become sad. Okay, so that figure of speech is personification. Delivering order to executors pale, the lazy yawning drone. So as I said, drone are the bees which are lazy. Okay, so even if the human beings come and take up their honey, okay, so they will see, when you go to the hive and you will touch them, the bees will become bad tempered, shari hum. Okay, means they will become angry that somebody is attacking our home, and then what we do, we attack their home and we take up the honey. Okay, but still this drone, okay, this lazy bees, what they will do, they will be yawning means opening mouth for sleep, right? So they will be sleeping itself, they do not do anything. So this is all about the honey bees, okay, which make honey. Okay, so this poem is written by William Shakespeare. Okay, so if you have any doubts, please ping me. This is all about the poem The Bees.